Let me tell you all about a really unique pocket of East Dallas that has a lot of people falling in love with it once they discover it. It's the area around White Rock Lake, specifically two neighboring communities called Little Forest Hills and Forest Hills. And if you're familiar with the White Rock Lake area, you already know how big of a draw this area is. Living in either of these neighborhoods really means the lake is basically in your backyard. It's just a short walk from where you live. And a lot of residents start their mornings walking, running on the trails around the lake, riding their bikes, skating, or just watching the sunrise over the water. The lake itself has a ton of amenities also. You've got sailing clubs, kayaking, paddleboarding, you name it. If there's a water activity, then it's definitely being done on White Rock Lake. On the weekends, you'll see runners, cyclists, and people walking their dogs all the way around the shoreline. And the nice thing is you get all of that nature while sitting just about 15 minutes from downtown Dallas. Within this part of East Dallas, you actually have two very different neighborhoods, but they're right next door to each other. And Little Forest Hills and Forest Hills. Little Forest Hills is probably the more well-known of the two because of its very distinct personality. The unofficial motto is keep Little Forest Hills funky, and that really captures the spirit of the neighborhood. The homes are colorful, creative, and almost every house feels a little bit different. Many of the original homes are small wood frame cottages that were built in the 1920s through the 1940s, and over time some modern homes have been added, but the area has just managed to keep the eclectic and artistic vibe. The streets in Little Forest Hills are heavily lined with trees, so when you're driving through the neighborhood, it almost feels like you're tucked away in a little small forest. That natural setting, combined with being right next to White Rock Lake, is a big reason people are drawn to the area, and the community here is very, very tight-knit. Neighbors, they tend to know each other. There's a lot of local events that bring people together. It's very close to the Dallas Arboretum, and around the lake you'll see things like lake cleanups, 5Ks, half marathons that many of the residents participate in. And there's also White Rock East Garden Tour, where many of the people, they show off their incredible garden. The neighborhood itself hosts fun events too. Things like 4th of July parades, neighborhood parties, art walks, where local artists display their work. A lot of the residents in Little Forest Hills are artists themselves and musicians and other creative professionals. So art and creativity are a big part of the culture there. Right next door though is Forest Hills, and the feel for that neighborhood is actually pretty different. Forest Hills tends to be a little bit more traditional and a little more upscale. The homes are generally larger and many of them sit on bigger lots with mature trees. A lot of the houses were built in the 1930s and 1940s as well, but instead of small cottages, you'll find like more classic estate style homes, renovated traditional houses, and some newer construction luxury builds mixed in as well. While Little Forest Hills leans more towards the eclectic and artistic, Forest Hills has quieter, more classic residential feel, and they're both very close to White Rock Lake. So, if you're a resident there, you get to enjoy the exact same access to the trails, parks, and the outdoor activities. But the housing and overall vibe tend to be a little different and a little bit more polished and established in Forest Hills rather than Little Forest Hills. But the neighborhoods are fairly small and very community oriented. They both benefit from being surrounded by mature trees and being so close to the lake. You still get that outdoor lifestyle where you can walk down to the water, hop on the trail, spend some time, with your family at the park. And at the end of the day, it really does come down to personality. If you like a neighborhood that's creative and colorful and a little quirky, Little Forest Hills might be the perfect fit. But if you want something that has charm, the charm of East Dallas established, with the proximity to White Rock Lake with larger homes, then Forest Hills might be a better option. But either way, this whole area around White Rock Lake is one of those most desirable parts of Dallas. You get mature trees, access to nature, strong community vibes, and they're just minutes from downtown Dallas. So if you're thinking about moving to Dallas and you just want to learn more about the different neighborhoods around the city, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I post videos like this every week, breaking down what it exactly like to live in Dallas, so you can decide which area might be the best fit for you. We'll see you next time.